In the quiet woods of Vermont lies Ravenwood Cemetery, a place bound by one terrifying rule: never enter after midnight. The locals whisper of a spectral nun who drifts among the tombstones, forever searching for the soul of a child she couldn't save, they say. Anyone who hears her midnight prayer is never seen again. But in 2019, paranormal podcaster James Miller wasn't interested in local legends. He craved proof, not superstition. Armed with his equipment and a healthy dose of skepticism, he pushed open the cemetery's rusted gates at 11:58 p.m., just 2 minutes before the forbidden hour. He was about to learn that some rules aren't meant to be broken. As the clock struck midnight, the air plunged into an unnatural, freezing cold. Every tree, every blade of grass stood unervingly still, as if holding its breath. James switched on his high-sensitivity recorder, ready to capture whatever came next. For a few heart-stopping seconds, there was only silence. Then, a sound drifted across the graves. It was a soft, broken whisper. A woman's voice, ancient and trembling with sorrow. Benedicanima, bless the soul. James froze, his blood turning to ice. It was undeniably a nun's voice. As if on cue, the wind suddenly howled through the tombstones. Dozens of candles on the graves ignited on their own, their flames flickering and bending in a single direction, pointing him deeper into the oldest, most shadowed part of the cemetery. Drawn by an unseen force, James followed the mournful prayer. It led him to a small, crumbling stone chapel at the heart of the cemetery. The door hung from its hinges, its wood splintered and covered in what looked like deep claw marks. Peering inside, he saw her. A woman in a nun's habit stood with her back to him. Her shoulders shook with silent, gut-wrenching sobs. Mustering his courage, James whispered, "Sister, are you okay?" The figure stopped crying. Slowly, agonizingly, she began to turn. Her face was a deathly pale mask, her eyes sunken into dark, hollow pits. But the most horrifying part was where her mouth should have been. Instead, there was only a crudely stitched cross, carved directly into her flesh. She lifted a long, bony hand and pointed directly at James's chest, right over his heart. An intense, searing pain erupted inside him, a sensation as if something vital, something essential, was being violently pulled from his body. James stumbled backward, tripping over a weathered gravestone. The old stone cracked under his weight and split open, revealing a horrifying secret hidden within. It was a small, child-sized coffin. Trembling, James lifted the lid. Inside, there was no body, only a small porcelain doll wrapped in a nun's tattered scarf. In a blink, the nun was standing right beside him. Her voice wasn't spoken aloud. It echoed directly inside his mind, filled with a century of grief. "I failed her. Bring her." A flood of horrific visions crashed into James's consciousness. He saw the nun, desperate and frantic, running through a burning orphanage, clutching a small girl in her arms. He saw her reach the cemetery gates just as she collapsed, the child slipping from her grasp. The girl's spirit never found its rest. The nun died days later, her heart broken, convinced the child's soul was lost forever. And every midnight since, she wandered, seeking a living vessel to carry the child's spirit back to its final resting place. Tonight, she had chosen James. He tried to run to escape the suffocating presence of the chapel, but every path he took twisted and turned, leading him right back to where he started. The nun raised both of her hands, and the entire cemetery seemed to come alive, the air filled with whispers, the faint, spectral voices of children, hundreds of them, closing in, surrounding him. His recorder, still running, captured the nun's final, chilling command, echoed by the chorus of the dead. Offer your soul for hers. James opened his mouth and screamed, a raw, primal sound of pure terror, but it was swallowed by the ghostly choir. At exactly 12:07 a.m., every light in the cemetery, every flickering candle went out at once, plunging Ravenwood into absolute darkness. The next morning, police found only James's recorder lying in the dukest grass, the final sound captured on the tape, a little girl's faint, happy laugh, followed by the nun's contented whisper, "She is home." James Miller was never seen again. The locals say if you're foolish enough to enter Ravenwood Cemetery after midnight, you might hear two voices on the wind. Now the nun and the child she finally tragically reclaimed. Thanks for watching.